Welcome to the special edition of Counterpoint. 19th December, the day when state got liberated from Portuguese rule. Goa has gone through lot after that. It's almost 51 years now that we are liberated, but we have committed lot of mistakes in the name of development, in the name of identity and several issues. In this edition, we will speak about these issues and what went wrong. We have with us J.C. Almeida. He was the first Goan to be the Chief Secretary of State. He had served Goa's administration right from the Portuguese time till he retired. Welcome, sir, on the show. One first question is that are we right? Are we on the right path of development, or we have lost something? We should have done it in a different way.
We are not in proper part of development, and this has happened because the government have not drawn up proper policies. The first Chief Minister of Goa, Mr. Bandolkar, he knew not only the pulse of Goans, but also he knew the land of Goa. And accordingly, he was drawing proper policy with a balanced development.
When you call it land of Goa, that means the topography of Goa.
Land, topography of Goa, no. He knew each and every corner of Goa in terms of land as such. So, he was able to fix up proper policies. And first, since Goa was liberated at that time, and there was no proper infrastructure, he laid down stress on the infrastructure. Infrastructure to give education, to give health, and to give industry. These were three aspects of
health, education, and industry.
Of course, when you say industry, water and power comes along with it. He also laid down stress in the tourism because he knew that Goans were very good in manners, very good in cooking, etc. He wanted to give. But he wanted to do this in balanced manner. And he laid stress first in agriculture. In agriculture, because at that time it was a rural economy in Goa, and he wanted to help the farmers. The farmers to increase agriculture production and also to enhance the ancillary industries like animal husbandry, fisheries, etc. Because this would ultimately will help the rural population as such.
Was it immediately after he took over as chief minister, or later on when he was in effect?
Immediately, soon after he took over the chief minister, he started all these programs and even taught about our Sakar Kakana.
Sanjeevani
Sanjeevani, just to give this thing. He established the dairy plant. Dairy plant was established by him.
He has also been credited for government schools, education everywhere.
There were no teachers, there were no qualified people. He rented certain premises. He appointed means with very few knowledge of education, appointed as teachers. And he used to say, let us start somewhere, and then with time will come that we will have educated teachers properly, etc., etc.
Sir, when we have such a great foundation for the state's development, so now if we see in 2013, we have actually gone haywire.
We have gone astray.
What went wrong according to you?
Went wrong because we have not developed our infrastructure properly. We are lacking at present proper education. Proper education means it should be useful education for purpose of employment.
No, my question is that when we had such a good foundation, where it went wrong? You have seen Goa right from 60s
till because you see the politicians became only means dole centered. They did not see the Goa economic development in a very joint sort of strategy for Goa. So therefore, this went all wrong, and self-interest started being created, whereas the first chief minister has no self-interest as such. And they started thinking people should come to them, whereas the first chief minister used to say people should go to administration first, then they should come to us. This was his means.
So that's where we lost
We
so
lost.
many things.
Now what happened? The administration is sitting quietly in their offices, and everybody goes to the ministers.
Who's to be blamed now? Administration or politicians?
I feel the politicians are to be blamed. They should not have allowed people to come to them. Instead they should have sent to the administration to solve their problems, and in case they are not solved, then they should have come to the politicians.
Sir, it can also be like that government officers don't do the job, that's why people go to the politicians.
Government officers also have to be blamed, because they have surrendered all their powers to the politicians, because they are afraid of transfer, they are afraid of bad confidential reports, and they feel that there is no point in discussing with the politicians.
We know you had very bad tiff with one of the former chief ministers.
I had a very bad time also, and I also had very bad reports also, but does not mean one has to stand for the principles you have created throughout your life and tell the truth. So this does not fit in the present system of administration.
So basically, both are wrong. Politicians are also wrong and bureaucrats are also
Administration
wrong.
also is wrong.
Okay, so 50 years down the line, ideally when you were there, soon after Goa got liberated, what was the vision that you thought that Goa would be like this after 50 years, and what is it?
You see, I thought that Goa's cultural and unique identity would be maintained. And for that, policies would be adopted, not to go to this extent. Now what happened? The construction industry and the tourism industry have totally changed the scenario of Goa. No longer it can maintain the same sort of flavor Goa had earlier.
No, also because there's one factor is that when we are going into development, we want people from outside state to do odd jobs, which Goans usually don't do. So that also spurted in construction industry. They started coming here.
But what you see, that is what the planned development means. What create all the requirements for the development. Now, have we trained people in the technical professions like plumbers, electricians, to take care of these sort of things? Constructions have come. All the material and all the technical people have come from outside. Have we created it locally? We have not created. So this sort of haphazard development has affected really the growth, proper growth of Goa.
If you see Goa's pattern of growth from Bandodkar's time till now, so it is actually growing.
It has grown because investment also has been there. You see, in the first, when we started, there were about 56 crores plan outlay. Thereafter, at the time of statehood, went to about 300. And now it has reached about 1,200 or to 1,400. So, plan investment has increased, and inflation also has increased. Consumerism also has increased. So all these factors have
These are part of global phenomenon that
global phenomenon, are part of global phenomena. But knowing this global phenomena, we had to adopt certain strategies to avoid any damage to actual our own culture.
were not adopted.
That was not there. That was not there.
What could have been a strategy according to you?
My strategy would be, first of all, in education side, I have been always encouraging that from 6th to 7th standard, those who do not are not able to study further, they should be given technical sort of education. They should be put in this technical lines like welding, like carpentry, like masonry, all the technical lines as such.
So you create a workforce of
Workforce first, you know. Now all these institutes of hospitality and all those things have come now. They should have come earlier so that our people would be inducted in that, in the education stage.
So naturally that shows lack of vision on the part of lawmakers.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing. We lost 2 5-year plans.
Yeah.
5-year plans, and thereafter
Yeah.
we have continued.
Continue.
Now when we discuss all these things 50 years after liberation, do you think that we should ask for compensation from center now for those 2 5-year plans?
You see, what compensation? You see, this 5-year plan is when it was a union territory. It was a burden of the government of India to give us loans and grants also.
Fill the gap
Fill
between.
the gap, and there was no liability of the state. You know, now it is a state.
So now we have started facing the brunt.
Now we started facing the brunt.
Do you feel?
And we are not maintaining proper control in our finances. Our 56% of the revenue receipts go to pay the salaries of the people and the interest on the loan. So what is left for the development? Nothing. And we are taking loans, borrowing to do revenue expenditure, which is not a good thing to be done. I am sure all these schemes of doles which are being given to mining and Ladi scheme and all those, they are coming out of the loans taken by the government.
So government should not make their working dole centric.
No dole centric. Not only there. All the investment which is made, since you have no revenues to make such investment, your role to utilize the money you collect from borrowing, it is to be utilized in such a way that should be self-supporting. It should pay not only the interest but also the loan. But this is not happening. Now bridges are being constructed. Of course, you can construct the bridges, but tax the people who
Use it.
Yes, use it.
Do you feel that we made a mistake by accepting statehood and we should have been a union territory?
Actually, I feel that statehood has come to us very early. We were not sufficiently matured to get the statehood. You see, everybody thought, you see, Goa, Daman and Diu was considered as Estado da Índia Portuguesa, means a state of Portuguese state of Goa, Daman and Diu. In that, everybody wanted separate state, but nobody thought what consequences of the separate state. So I feel this statehood has come too early to us.